with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I bring it to your city or your hometown. I go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. Now keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt a fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt a fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt a fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt a fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live.
And we're back.
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm West. This guy is David. And it is almost 2023.
Yes.
This is the last
Is
show
it?
of 2022.
This is. Oh, it is. Yes.
It is. It is.
It is.
Time goes by fast.
It is.
It is.
Oh, so you were telling me about this. Okay, we got to get off on the right foot. We're starting this the right way tonight. We had a proper countdown, a proper introduction. You didn't steal my line like you did last week.
It was a weird week.
So it was a weird week, and we had a third person in the middle. And after I left, he was sit there, and the box had him as Dave Leffingwell the whole rest of the night.
Yeah, and then he had to leave. And then that David had to leave at some point, and it was just me and finished the show. So
It was just you.
yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had a meeting I had to get off to last week, but we're here.
That's all that matters. We showed up.
And that's what matters. And what matters more is, what are you drinking over there, West? What are you drinking?
So my current wife, my beautiful, wonderful current wife, got me.
You can always get another.
Says the highly successful man in a great industry.
That
That goes back. That's a
joke went
callback to a joke
differently.
that nobody else
That
heard.
joke went differently before the show.
That's a callback to a completely different joke nobody got. All right, so
That's fine. That's
my
fine.
beautiful, current, wonderful wife got me the BrewDog Advent Calendar. So for those of you who don't know, it's instead of a normal Advent calendar where you get like chocolate or something, this week you get a beer. And a lot of these beers
Yes.
aren't available anyplace else. You can only get them here. And
Yeah.
one of those is the BrewDog Lost Lager, but this is the barrel-aged Lost Lager. So, and it's not bad. It's pretty good. Pretty tasty. So I'm going to go through a couple of those tonight. Different beers, because there's one of each in there. What are you drinking, David?
Well, I'd had a thought about beer. So, because I am me, I bought a
You are you.
kegerator.
Of course.
I bought a kegerator, but it needs a new. I bought it used because if I can save money on something that I don't have to, that I can, I'm going to do it. So I bought it. And it needs its hose cleaned, and I'm like, you know what? I want to replace the hose line completely. So there's a shop, but it doesn't open until tomorrow. It's closed on Wednesdays. Every other day of the week it's open, but Wednesdays it's closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to run out and get it today and have it all set up and get myself a lager. But
That would have been awesome.
to be honest, I might hold off until my next trip over your direction for a very specific reason, because the beer that I most desire is located in Central Ohio at the Hofbrauhaus Columbus. So I'm going to have to see what beers they have on tap and see what's coming up soon and see if Jason has anything special in store. And I'm going to grab a keg from over there, because if I'm going to have my kegerator, the first beer I need to have in it's my Hofbrauhaus, good beer.
Yeah,
So,
Jason from the Hofbrauhaus is a great brewer, so he's amazing.
Yeah, top marks for him all time. But tonight, I decided to go a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna my current pair bond, my beautiful wife. She bought me some Glencairn glasses. Now,
Nice.
These are
There you go.
little shot glasses for whiskey, basically.
Filled to the top, it's basically a shot for you.
It's
What are you trying
not
to say?
quite. Tonight's show is going to be very short.
Or really long and
it
weird.
has the Leffingwell with the big L there on it and everything, which is good.
Nice.
So I have a dilemma of whether I want to break it in with Blacken. This is a collaboration from Dave Pickerel, I believe is how you say his last name. This master distiller, and Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually bottled. I didn't know this until just recently. This is actually bottled in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, wow, really?
This is bottled in Columbus, Ohio. So
we'll have to find that distiller and have a tour of his location.
It's the Sweet Amber Distilling Company.
Oh, I don't know then. Okay.
So,
I'll have to look
I
it
don't
up.
know them either. So I'm
Good to know.
I'm going to be like looking in windows and stuff. Be like,
Right, let's do a little stalking.
you got
Find out where they
Metallica
are.
in there? You got Metallica in there? or do I break them in with some Blanton's? Now, as you can see, I'm below the band on Blanton's. So
It's a tough choice.
Usually I'll drink anything at any point, but when I get my Blanton's, because it's so dang hard to find, once it gets below the band, I'm like,
It's a tough choice.
do I really want to drink that? So,
You got a guy though.
you
You got a Blanton's guy.
Yeah, I got a guy. But I got my blackened shrine here behind me. So that's the Black Album right there. That's another bottle of blackened bourbon, and this is the blackened M81 cigar from Drew Estates.
Nice.
And these, I'm usually a much lighter flavor cigar guy, but these are terrific. The reason that's there and the reason I'm pointing it out is because we've talked about collaborations a lot.
We do.
And that right there goes to show you, the really powerful big companies, top end names also do collaborations.
Yeah,
so there's no
absolutely.
reason for you not to.
Totally. So
So
David,
I think I'm gonna go Blanton's. I'm gonna go Blanton's.
Oh, you go Blanton's?
Right.
I was going to say you should collaborate between your cigars and your bourbon. You should
All
light
right,
your
all right,
throw
all right,
caution
all
to your wind.
Oh,
Start
darn.
with blackened and light your cigar.
Me.
And light your cigar.
Oh, yes. So that current wife nomenclature that we use all the time might actually become relevant if I fire up a cigar in here. So if you get over now, I wouldn't recommend going over there right now just because, this is New York and Buffalo gets whacked pretty good. But this right here is from the Buffalo Cigars. And
I like
I'm
the
going to move
shirt.
to this side so you can hear me better. Buffalo Cigars over in, of course, Buffalo, New York. And they're in there. I got some pictures I can share out to you, Wes. That's the guys in there rolling their house cigars and everything.
That's awesome. That's
in
cool.
this place, and I'm just sitting there like, this is cool.
Right, like that's the dream.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
the dream.
yes. So we're gonna crack the blackened here.
There you go. Good call.
And we're gonna break into the Glencairn with a skosh.
And I still need to try that blackened bourbon. I haven't had that yet, so I got to find a bottle.
Yeah, it's crazy. My local place down the road here, they didn't have it for weeks, and so I kept going in. Oh, sorry, I dropped the cork.
Don't drop your cork.
So I kept going in, and I kept looking behind the counter because, like, usually when they can't find stuff, when it's hard to get, they put it behind the counter.
Mm-hmm.
So that nobody can come in and just grab a bunch of it.
Like you.
Like, well, no. I'm always respectful, man. If there's 2 bottles and I want, if there's 2 bottles and I want 2 bottles, and I'm going to buy 1 bottle and let somebody else have another one.
I'm the opposite. I will buy both and then reserve any more they get.
Yeah, complete difference there.
That is.
So I went in. Yeah, I went in there and I was talking to the young lady that works in there, and we were on conversation. I think her nephew plays basketball with my daughter, and we were jibber jabbering, and she walked in line with me, and I looked right past her head. I was like, "Holy crap, they got blackened back there." It's not up front, it's back there. That's what I came in here for. So I'm sitting there talking to her as I'm walking back around her to go get my bottle. Mm-hmm. And then just days later, I walked back in there and they had them restocked, and it came with this cool little pouch that says blackened on them. So I had to buy another bottle.
Of course.
So now I've got one up here for decorations. Although I've been collecting my bottles to give to that group that makes lamps and lights and things and stuff out of the empty bottles. So I've been collecting them, and I've got a couple of Wellers over there, but by far and large, the bottle that's most emptied in this house, really that just means by me, is blackened.
Nice. You go through some bourbons, what you're trying to say.
I do go through some bourbons. Now I've been through a few bottle of Blantons too, but more than a few. But the blackened's a little easier to get your hands on than the blend. So.
A little easier. So David.
So do you have a list of beers that come out of that thing, or
not on me? It was
okay.
It was on the website, but I mean, I got the box over there, but it's still got most of it. It's mostly full.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to crack open my next, which is, let's see what I got next in here, which is their Bonfire Blitz, which is their winter warmer.
Okay.
So let's see how that is. I'm not sure what style that is actually, but we'll find out. So David, while I'm opening this,
it sounds like a winter lager, but we'll see it in the glass. And
while I'm opening this, though, you had something from Andy Forged.
Andy Forged, yes.
You wanted to mention.
So we have his site. Can we take a peek at it? All right. So we talked about this guy last week, and if the world works out, I'm going to order the set of knives I was showing you guys last week. But I believe that if you're in a kitchen, if you do a lot of cooking, which I'm a fat guy, it means I like to cook, and a good sharp and sharpenable a knife that you can sharpen is very, very important. If you're a hillbilly and want a hatchet, I'm sure I think he's even got shit off there. So we can scroll down and take a look at some of his stuff. Now, this is one of those companies like Bentley's that we've been trying to push and promote. Look at that! He's got a freaking ninja sword.
He has a
freaking ninja sword. I have no use for a ninja sword, but I like that better. That's cool. But let me just look at his product. His work product is just second to none.
Oh, his work is great. I mean, you can buy sets. It looks like these are incredible. I want to get a couple of these knives. These are great.
They are really cool. And
sweet.
I think right now might be the time to strike if you're going to do it, because right now I believe he's underpriced.
Good to know.
So if I were to put this up against other similar products, I believe he is actually coming in under market value on his stuff. So
and
I think he
forges all this stuff, right?
Yeah, this is his stuff.
Wow, that's awesome. Is this the set you're getting?
Nope, nope. We're gonna keep scrolling down. I don't like.
Pretty sweet.
I don't hate it, but I don't like the redness. I don't
How
like
about
the
that
red
one? Is that your
handles.
kitchen knife?
Well, that's we'll talk about that another day. So yeah, we keep going here. Not that one. I believe it's the next one he's got for the full kitchen set. I mean, look at his swords. Nah, it's not that one either. Holy biscuits. He's got a lot
He has
of
a
stuff.
lot of stuff here.
There's the hatchet. I knew he had a hatchet.
Yeah, we've seen a few hatchets on here so far.
Yeah.
There's some cool
There's
stuff.
some throwing knives if you get bored. As you do.
Of course.
Like today I woke up.
There you
like,
go.
know what? There they are. Right there. Those are them. Look at
Nice.
them bad boys. And they come in like a leather bag or satchel thing that you put your look at there, a knife bag.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I am.
So yeah, we got to talk to this guy. We got to talk about his business. So
Yeah, we're gonna get it. Well, I want you guys interested. I want all of our viewers interested in it, and then I want to maybe bring him on, talk to him, make sure he gets his demographic set right, his avatar spelled out basically, and he's reaching his right customers. Because from the news that you have, I believe we have an example of someone who missed the mark on.
Oh, did you want to share that story?
Yeah, I want to talk about that story.
All right. So
A, I want to know more about it. B, I want to know more about it. I think it's good to talk about because this illustrates the dangers of not actually doing proper market research and thinking that nobody likes your no, don't think this. Nobody loves your business like you do. That's completely true. We've said it in the past. Nobody's going to love and care for your business the way that you do. It's your business. So just because you like something doesn't mean that the general population that fits in the box that you believe you're in is going to like that. You still need to do your research. You still need to create your customer avatar, and your customer avatar should not be a reflection of yourself.
Right. So I first found this story because I was just scrolling through possible news items to talk about, and it struck me because you and I we're talking about, you go through quite a bit of bourbon. I go through quite a lot of bourbon and beer as well. And I found this article kind of ironic. And basically, downtown's first sober bar, the Dry Mill, closing its doors. And I found it kind of amusing at first because, look, it's not funny when somebody loses their business. It's not. People sink their heart and soul into it. But there's a very specific niche for a business like a sober bar. And if you look at their marketing, if you look at all the things they were doing, they were marketing towards the completely wrong avatar. The completely wrong group of people were seeing them. And, of course, they're not hitting the audience. And the audience they should have been hitting, they weren't hitting the right way, frankly.
Were they on Facebook? I want to pull them up.
The Dry Mill. I don't know. I haven't looked them up on Facebook.
I'm going to look them up on Facebook. I'm going to take a look and see what their social media look like.
That's a fair point. I hadn't even done that. I wasn't even going to show this story because I didn't want people to think that we were laughing at this business going under. So I wasn't going to show it. But what do you think?
Yeah, see, and well, he said, I don't know if I want to do this. It's kind of, what'd you say, humdrum or something? Ooh, look at that. Bring that beer back.
So I think this is
as
Columbus's first dry bar goes under. Hey, look at this delicious beer.
Hey, look at that beer.
Like golden color.
Oh, man.
So nice.
What's the smell?
This is a red ale.
Spice? Is this all spice, right? It's just
it's
all
it has a little bit
spices.
of Christmas spice.
Oh, okay.
It's like a Christmas ale, kind of.
It's like all the nutmeg in the world went into that beer.
But look at that. Right next to the article that we're talking about. That beautiful color.
Yeah.
They don't serve that at the Dry Mill. Oh, wait, they don't serve anything at the Dry Mill. Which is also why I didn't want to talk about this story, David. I don't want to seem like I'm laughing at these people. It's terrible news.
We're not laughing. I'm just scrolling through. Well, no. It is excellent. I guarantee you that the people who run this bar now could turn around and do something similar. I would change the name, of course.
Well,
it's a terrible name. For I mean, you don't put the word dry in a bar, okay? It doesn't work. Anyway, that they would have a better. Yes, there are some examples. As I said that in my head, floating around, like, ooh, I could make a really good bar name out of that. It has the word dry. Anyway, that they know now, and hopefully they've learned. So it's okay to fail. It's okay to be wrong.
Right. So I don't know all their offerings. However, they were specifically marketing themselves as a bar. So I'm guessing they probably had some bar snacks, probably not a full menu, probably specialized in dry cocktails, which is fine. But you gotta anticipate your clientele is going to be a very slim niche that you need to play in very carefully. And if you look at their marketing activities they were doing, they really weren't optimizing their opportunities. I'll put it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm sitting here scrolling through their social media stuff right now, and they got some sandwiches. They got a Thanksgiving sandwich. So got turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, mac and cheese, cranberry glaze on a sourdough bread. It's like all that's on one sandwich.
You know what would be really great
All
with that
right.
sandwich? A beer.
All right, now you're getting close.
It's all right. Now it's okay. See, this is why I didn't. There's too many. The jokes write themselves.
There's too many. Yeah,
this is why I didn't want to share this.
So no, I think it's good. Ooh, their quesadilla does look good. So they've got the stuff that you want. The problem is they marketed it as a bar.
Right. That's it. That was the problem.
Thinking that they were going to be able to draw the crowd. They were probably, I don't even know where the location is.
Right.
79 South 4th Street. So that's down in South 4th. That's going to be north of the freeway, right? Downtown?
Yes. So yes. They actually would have been much better off marketing themselves as sort of a light food restaurant or deli that happens to serve really good dry cocktails. That's how they should have marketed themselves. Yeah. Not as a dry bar. Because you hear this, you immediately think they're probably not going to have food that's that great. And in the meantime, I'm getting a Shirley Temple.
Yeah, switch it over to a small plate. Switch it over to small plates for your food offerings, and literally just market the hell out of your non-alcoholic cocktails.
Right. That's it.
And then your location was not good. You're in drinking country where you were. Push it out a little bit, and now you can create a spot for after proms and things of that nature to attract a crowd. That's there's for your Monday nights. For the nights that aren't, you can backfill those with a UA, an underage group,
right?
To fill in that your gaps where because there is not enough business in a non-alcoholic bar. I don't care how good your fake cocktails are.
It's true.
There's just not enough business there.
Basically, their hook needs to be something besides being a dry bar.
Yeah.
But the dry bar part, that's fine. They can have a dry bar, but their hook needs to be something that's actually going to draw people in. And not just draw people in, get returning customers. Because it is such a niche.
Yeah. And you can market to AA and other recovery centers and things of that nature too, where you can still have that social interaction without the temptation that comes along with the readily available alcohol that you can get in other bars. So there's ways to market it. There's ways to push this. Sad to see a business go in any case, but it really does go to show how important it is to nail that avatar.
Right. Exactly. But on the next item we have lined up for today's news, we got a robocall company received the largest FCC fine ever. Thank you. I think they need to quadruple every fine they give out for every robocalling company. This company faces a $300 million penalty, which they won't pay. They'll just change their address and refile someplace else under a different name. That's what these things do.
Where was this robo-dialing thing based out of it?
Let's see.
Does we have a location for it? Because I can tell you the amount of them that are in India is insane. So here's what I think. Anybody that's caught doing this from overseas, we take $300 million. That's a pretty decent pop for a single fine. I say we take that debt and we transfer our national debt to that country.
Right.
So well, here's $300 million of our national debt. Now, now it's debt that belongs to India. Oh, you guys had 50 of them? Well, now that's $1.5 billion, or if my math, $15 billion.
Right.
That's now debt over to here. We can get out of this. We can get out from underneath this debt, guys. There's ways to do this. Come on, let's do it.
I have a different idea. Here's what I think they should do. They should take that
penalty.
They should collect. Well, that's part two. That's part two. It's a multifaceted plan.
Multifaceted plan.
Part one. They should collect this $300 million and use it to pay private investigators to research and publish all of the private information of everyone who has ever worked for these companies and ever will work for these companies, and then publish it online so everybody knows their names, their home addresses, their phone numbers, and we can call them as often as we want. Not just the owners of these companies, all the piddly little employees.
All of them.
The guy
Everybody.
the guy who sweeps the floor. I want to know who he is and his wife's name, and I want him fully doxxed. And on top of that, you kind of beat me to the punch a little bit. I think part 2 to this plan is, because they're going to keep doing it, after your second infraction, 3 strikes you're out. Guess what? After the 3rd strike, it's the death penalty. Make this the least desirable job in all of human history.
Yeah,
In human
I
history.
have set through more than my fair share of West's. We should euthanize scam caller. What is it? What is it? The word you say? Telemarketers.
Telemarketers.
The
I'm
scam
not
telemarketers.
even saying, there are some telemarketers that, look, if you have a pre-existing business agreement, look, if I bought something from XYZ store a couple of years ago, they have the right to call me. But look, you don't have a right to openly just buy my number and then call me and try and sell me garbage. And my kids have joined us, so it's time to clean up the conversation a little bit. Hey, guys. How are you guys doing? You guys enjoying your Christmas break?
Yeah.
These kids are on Christmas break. Must be nice.
Really?
What did you guys do today?
We went to one of our friends' house.
Went to a friend's house? What did you do?
We played and we ate cupcakes and we made pizza.
You ate pizza and ate cupcakes?
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
And there.
Where was my invitation?
I didn't even get to go.
I mean, cupcakes and pizza, man.
It sounds amazing.
Sounds like a birthday party.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty fun. Ooh, they're attacking the camera now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, you guys say goodnight to David.
Dad, can we share?
Yeah, okay. What did you guys bring down?
All right, what you got?
You go
What do you got?
first.
Catherine, you go first.
I got Pandy.
She has a stuffed kitty named Pandy.
Andy, okay.
Pandy. Great kitty cat.
It's from a TV show. Yeah.
It is from a TV show. What do you got, Luck?
I got a ball
He has a yellow ball.
from when we were little, like really.
You
little.
are. What,
When we were
this is a
little,
lock over there. Well, back in my day, we didn't have yellow balls. We had orange balls. You wanted a yellow ball, you had to paint that ball yourself.
well, we used to when Catherine and me were really
Little.
little, we had a ball pit.
That's from your ball pit
A
when
ball pit.
when you're babies, huh?
Yeah, but we still have some for some reason. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Well, one of
that's
these
pretty
days
fun.
you're going to get into
I think
Nerf
my
guns,
dad
and
has.
you'll have Nerf darts all over the place.
I think my
And
dad.
then
Here
you'll
we
get
go.
into the airsoft, and you'll
I
have
think
little
my dad-
BBs all over the place.
And my dad just bit my finger.
And I probably have about 10 pounds of Legos I could give you, and those are always fun to
Sorry,
sneak
Daddy.
up on you in the middle of the night.
That's fun. That's what you get for eating me.
Oh, they're abusing me now. Okay. Well, you guys, time to say goodnight to David.
Night, David.
Good night, kiddos.
Night.
I would say tomorrow you can eat all the junk food you want, but you guys have cupcakes and pizza today, so.
Okay. Good night, buddy. Oh,
I
good
will
night,
get you
Catherine.
with yellow power.
Oh, yellow power. Okay.
Yellow.
Good night, Catherine.
Night. But it looks
Night.
like there was blood all over.
Is there blood on your hands? What
No.
did you do?
Like,
Were you eating Cheetos?
I told you to be gentle with the kitty cat.
I picked up. I didn't pick up the cat.
You didn't pick up the cat?
No.
Whose blood is it?
No one's. Like, I dropped this dancing on the floor and I picked it back up and put it in the box, but then my hands were all wet.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You better go wash those hands.
No.
No. Okay.
Make sure you use your mom's fancy white hand towels.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing's white anymore in this house. So anyway, the FCC. I think there should be a bounty put on the people who are who work these telemarketing companies, and
I'll
again,
tell you,
not
we
just
can
the owners,
combine our two.
everybody, down to the
We
person
can
who sweeps
combine
the
our
floor.
two. We can get out of the national debt, and then we can start doxing people.
It's true.
And calling
Fair
on
point.
some airstrikes and whatnot, or whatever it is that you said.
So I don't think this is the show where we should talk about our policies on paying down the debt. I think that could get us in some big trouble.
I'm just saying, if we're going to be getting money from foreign entities, we might as well just shift the. If we're going to get it, we might as well put it to good use.
Monetary transactions between the U.S. government and foreign entities. Again, not the place. This is not the place to start talking about those.
This is the perfect. This is the perfect. We've
We're gonna
got
get into trouble.
alcohol and tobacco. This is how you solve the world's problems.
It's true. So on to. You didn't even light the cigar yet. Light the cigar and then tell me about the world problems.
Right. My lighter's over there.
All right. So the next story on the
All of
docket,
them.
we actually do have a main topic we're going to get to, but there's actually some really good news going on right now. Well, interesting news anyway. Remember the chatbot we were talking about, ChatGPT, the really good AI.
I've been using that. Yeah.
You can use it for anything. Like you can type in any random questions. You can type in like, hey, tell me a story about, and then just make up something. A talking cigar and a bottle of whiskey. It'll write you a story. It'll write you a children's story. It's nuts. So here's a story. Google management has reportedly issued a code red amid the rising popularity of ChatGPT. So within just a couple of weeks of that chatbot being released, Google's already come out and said this thing could potentially replace Google. It's that smart, and the answers it provides are that relevant. Like it's amazing. Even Google has reportedly dropped working on other projects specifically to create technology that will compete with ChatGPT. Because it's that good. Honestly, if you guys haven't tried ChatGPT, just Google it.
All right. So,
Google it.
I love it. All right. So I literally just pulled it up here. It was like, tell me a story about a cigar and bourbon to become friends.
It wrote the story.
And it says, it's straight up right now. Once upon a time in a humid tobacco field in the rolling hills of Cuba, there lived a plump cigar named Habano. Habano always dreamed of traveling the world, experiencing new cultures, and meeting interesting people. And it's going on and on.
It does.
And on over here.
It can do that.
Oh,
you can ask for recipes. It can write you a business plan. Write me a business plan on then make up any random thing. It will write you a business plan.
We've done it. So I'm writing a not necessarily a business plan, but it's an existing business that's trying to create a service vertical for themselves, or I'm trying to get them to create a service vertical for themselves.
Sure.
And normally I sit down and I do all the henpecking on the keyboard to create the thing. And it was literally like 2 days after we did the chat GPT thing. And I'm like, I'm going to give this a try. So instead of having it write the whole thing, what I'm doing is I'm giving it parameters of kind of what I want and then letting it do it. And then I'm copying it out and I'm just doing a little bit of wordsmithing and I'm putting it all together to build this. It's because I don't work short term. It is a kind of an 18-month is the nearest thing. There are check places in between there to see where you're going. 18-month, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, kind of what kind of revenue are we missing? What can we expect to get? And freaking Chat GPT, man, it's great.
Oh, yeah, it'll write business plans. It'll write essays. If you're in school, kids, feel free to cheat because you can say, write me an essay about any random thing. It'll write it for you. Write me a doctoral thesis. It'll write it for you. It's the only things it can't answer are like financial questions. It'll come back and say, I'm a chatbot. I don't have all the data, yada, yada, yada. It can't tell you things it can't possibly know. Like, are there aliens in the universe? It'll tell you, all the ideas that there could be and yada, yada. But it says, I don't know. It can't tell you.
Know that it does not believe that Elon Musk is an alien.
We did
ask. It did not
online.
it did not tell us definitively that. No, he was that. Chat AI was a little more definitive on Elon Musk, but Mark Zuckerberg, it was like 50-50.
Right. Well, here's my theory on where OpenAI, the company who owns ChatGPT, is going to take this. Amazon actually recently lost a ton of money on their Alexa tools because it's awful. It doesn't understand contextual questions. How many times have you asked either Google or Alexa any random questions, and it says, "Oh, online I found this," or according to
to me, Siri was always the worst for that.
Right.
Oh my lord.
Oh, it's terrible. But this now, imagine if you had this chatbot in like an Alexa, and it understood contextual conversation and contextual questions, and actually give you a real answer. It would change the game. You could actually connect something like this to your Outlook. to your Google Calendar, to your phone, all your phone connections, and you could say, "Hey, ChatGPT, make me a dentist appointment on Tuesday." Guess what? It's going to look at all your stuff, or it potentially could. We should do this, David, because somebody's going to beat us to the punch, and it's going to actually be a real digital assistant versus what we have now, which is garbage. So that is what we have in the news today for AI.
I need an assistant. So somebody out there wants to be my assistant. So I'm not going to pay you. I just want you to be my assistant. I'm taking applications. I could definitely use an assistant.
What
There's
does
too
it
much
pay?
stuff going on.
What does it pay?
Absolutely. You get experience.
There you go. It's like an unpaid internship.
Experience of working for me. Yes, it is an unpaid, but not even an internship.
All right. So if you want experience working a shit job, call David.
Yeah, your boss is a complete pain in the wazoo.
All right. So the next story, here's a good one. Amazon has begun drone deliveries in 2 cities. And I found this interesting because I heard somebody one time refer to drone delivery services as skeet shooting with prizes. So I found that to be interesting.
Yeah, you would be firing at because of the size of them, anything over, I think it's half a pound. I think it's 500 grams or something along those lines. So it's some ridiculously low number. It has to be registered, and it officially is an aircraft. So remember that. If you decide, hey, I want to shoot at this drone, like even if I go outside and fly my drones, that's a registered aircraft. You are shooting at an aircraft.
I'm not suggesting anybody goes
that.
shooting with prizes. However, one of the places is in Texas, College Station, Texas, and
so that's
Lockford, California.
Okay. I don't know where Lockford is.
There are a ton of videos online of people just knocking over and playing games on the delivery robots in the college towns, the food delivery robots. I have to imagine some people will have very similar interactions with the Amazon delivery drones. I'm just saying.
So you and I, previous to the opening of today's show, we're having conversations, and my animosity towards this ever-present push towards efficiency is well documented.
True.
I think if you come at me and you say, well, I want to be more efficient, I'm going to kneecap you right then and there. Because whatever you're about to say is probably one of the dumbest things on the face of the planet.
So what was your retort? Because it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Stop focusing on efficiency and focus on effectiveness.
Right. That's actually great. I totally agree with that.
That's what we need to do. The idea that efficiency is what we should be after is absolutely ludicrous. Some of the greatest companies, I can think of one really close to the top of my head, that is going down in flames because of its drive and push for efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
And its absolute blind eye to effectiveness. And, when you get something, and I made this comment earlier, it's like before the show, if you have a job that takes 10 people and you have 12 people doing it and it's being very effective, leave it the hell alone and run it with 12 people.
Right.
Don't try to run it with 8 people. Don't try to run it with 5 people. Or if you're a big company that has multiple people with the title of vice president, don't try to run it with 2 people. Because that's always the drive. We can get more done for less revenue. But are you effective? It doesn't matter. Yeah, you can be efficient. One guy can do one guy's worth of work. Well, you had 10 guys worth of work when you had 12. Now you're a 1-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
How much business did you lose getting there?
How
many people did you alienate getting there? How many people will absolutely never come back to work for you because of this experience? It's just...
how many people now refuse to call any kind of customer service line or shop with certain companies because their customer service is all either bots or there is, I don't mean this in any sort of culturally inappropriate way, but there is a language barrier that some people just, it's impossible to work with some companies. And because of that, it's just not effective.
Okay. This is something right here. This should be really just.
Here's the customer service rant.
You opened Pandora's box on this one. All right.
I'm talking about drones. I'm talking about skeet shooting with prizes. I'm making jokes.
But you're the one who said customer service, so here I am now.
True. It was not effective of me.
It was not effective, but it was efficient.
It was efficient.
And look where it led us. 5 minutes of content. All I got to say is customer service. So if your customer service is not in touch with your product, you don't have customer service. If your customer service is not in touch with the end user, you do not have customer service.
Mm-hmm.
You have a waste of money. You have a black sinkhole. My old boss, actually, he's good with these what we call Mike-isms, right? And he would call that your sales prevention team. That's what they are. They are your sales prevention team, and they are going to prevent many, 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 many sales.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am not going to do business with you. I will do what I have to do. Gone.
Right.
I'm out. I'm done. You may think, oh, he didn't complain. He's fine. It's okay. It was no. All right. So in my day to day right now, I get people that call me and they go, people from higher up my organization, they'll say, well, who's complaining about what? I was like, God, it's not the guy that's complaining that I'm worried about. That's not the guy who's going to take his business and go elsewhere. It's the guy who's keeping his mouth shut, making his plans. He never tells us a thing. And one day, all of his business goes somewhere else.
Yep.
And he will never there is no way to recapture that market. None.
Right. When you have bad customer service, you got to remember, people don't remember the good times. They always remember the bad times. It's just human nature. It's the way our brains are built to recognize danger in the wilderness. We don't remember when things are going well for us. We don't remember the really good times or things that are so good they're not memorable anymore. We remember that one time we got really angry at that one person who wasn't helping us on the phone when we desperately wanted their help.
Yep.
That's it. That's all they're going to remember. So anyway, that was a nice little rant.
So, yes. So when you're running your business or running your dry bar, it's not the customers that are complaining that you have to worry about. It's the customers that aren't there because you're not talking to them. You need to fix your avatar.
They should have called us.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of people. I will tell you right now, the people who have reached out and talked to us, which is why I keep highlighting and talking about the James Forge. Is that it? James?
Andy Forge.
James? Andy. Gee, Christmas. Completely losing it over
Andy
here.
Forge.
Andy Forged. Knives and other sharpened items that, so we'll talk about him because I want to show you, and we like to show people how successful you can be following. Right. Last week we talked a little bit about some things that, I had to put a kind of a pump a brake for you and Matt about things that may seem common sense to us.
Right.
But other people right now, this guy is thinking about his quality of product in this day. He may not be thinking about the business aspect of things that you and I just take for granted, that when somebody says something, that's immediately what pops in our mind and how the mechanics work for us.
You're totally right.
So I think watching that company grow into what it's going to be is going to be a very, very it's knives and shit. So I mean, come on,
right? He's got some cool stuff.
Got freaking ninja swords. I mean, I want to drink a bourbon, smoke my cigar, and flail around a ninja sword.
And that was how David Leffingwell died. Happy is what they call that.
He'll be remembered thusly.
Missing all of his fingers. Yes. And he died of sadness.
Oops.
Can somebody pass me that cigar?
Yes. Yes, I got one earmarked for you, my friend. I've got one earmarked.
No, I'm talking about you after you chop off all your fingers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, so our main topic, it only took us about 45 minutes to get there. So, look, business and working in an office situation has changed. It's like night and day since 2020. Honestly, going back to 2019, could anybody imagine the work situation being what it is now, or the office situation? It's a completely different world right now, all around. But the thing is, it's even more important now to learn certain skills that were important then for success. But now, when you're working at home, or you need to really stand out against the people in your industry, and you need to take that next step, it's vitally important to learn these 6 skills. David, you actually went through the agenda for once. I'm joking. You usually do.
Yeah, I go through the agenda nearly every time.
You do. You actually do. I'm joking.
I'm over here talking.
But these 6 skills are vitally important. And you actually went through these, and you were like, yeah, these actually, it's totally true.
Very, very true. There's a couple of them on here that I would, and they're not in order.
It's
They're
not in
in
any
order
specific order.
because I believe orders are usually very fluid. And as we go through this, we can illustrate that. So let's say I'm going to do it. Can I just run through the bullet
Go for
points
it.
real quick? Just
Sure.
the big one. So we're talking about writing, public speaking, problem solving, negotiating, which is a great one, by the way. That one I was very happy that you threw in there. Keeping your ego in check. He didn't put that in there for anybody.
Not anybody
It just,
specific.
it just resonated with me for some reason. And building emotional intelligence, which is actually a relatively new thing in the world, is the emotional intelligence. But we'll talk about that when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
But all of these things are very fluid. So we're going to go through them in that order that I just ran down. But if you are a politician, perhaps your writing skills don't necessarily need to be up to scratch, but your public speaking skills had better be top marks.
Right.
If you are a pure salesman and you're not necessarily in my world of sales where it's a lot more business development stuff, where you're just straight up sales, you're negotiating maybe your number one.
Right.
And your writing maybe a quick number two. You need to be able to do that. So if you're in a technical environment or what I call a wartime general environment, meaning that there is some immediate problem that needs somebody to spearhead, your problem solving tactics may be number one. So I love every single one of them on here. I'm sure that if we sat here and thought for 4 days, we come up with a seventh to throw on, or maybe take this out and swap that around. But I think all in all, these 6 right here will get you where you need to go.
Right. So depending on your field, these can be in really any number of different orders. And to put them in a specific order would be more efficient, but not as effective. To call back to David's. There you go.
Thank you.
Right, exactly. So, the first
I
one I have
want
on
a t-shirt.
here.
I'm going to make a t-shirt. I'm going to wear it to all of my business meetings when I don't have to be in front of a customer wearing a specific shirt.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this on. Be effective, not efficient.
I like it. Or you have, so you see, you get the math equation there on your shirt of the consistency over time equals success. Here's another one. You have effectiveness line
over
efficiency. Effectiveness over efficiency. See?
Yep, I like it.
That's how we roll.
Boom.
Make a shirt. Okay, so the first one we have on here is writing. And a lot of these are going to seem really commonplace. But honestly, until you really think about why they're important and how they're, they affect how you interact at work, whether it's your business or in an office, it's really deceiving how important some of these are, like writing. So, whether it's emails or messages, texts, anything along those lines, one, they can determine your acumen in what you're trying to talk about. How often have you been reading an email and somebody just uses... They're trying to be casual, but it's just coming off as they don't understand what they're talking about. Or they're not using the correct words or terminology. Or they just have bad grammar. They just don't sound like they're that fluent in what they're trying to say. A good writing can highlight your credibility. It can make you more persuasive when you're trying to convince somebody to do something. Any number of different ways. You need really good writing skills when you're working in today's world. Everything has some sort of writing involved with it. I mean, on a daily basis, I'm having messages with multiple people, and most of the time I'm confused what the heck they're trying to tell me, because they're not using full sentences, or they're not using proper grammar, or it's a simple yes or no question to a multiple choice. And I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? What's going on?
Yeah, I like, and this is terrible because I can't come unglued at people because that's bad emotional intelligence. But the text speak that I get back from professionals,
I hate that. Yeah, the text shorthands. Yeah,
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I don't think it has any place whatsoever in any kind of professional setting. I don't even care text if shorthand. Your job is Twitter.
I don't even text shorthand to you and to my current wife. I text full sentences with punctuation. Yeah, I'm that guy.
I put punctuation in and commas. Oh my Lord, I love the Oxford comma. Come on, man.
Exactly. Look, good writing skills, it just makes you look more professional. It it makes people respect what you're saying even more. So you need good writing skills. So number 2, guess what? Public speaking. David and I may have something to say about that because we do it every week. But
Yeah, I will tell you, and there was a marked improvement in my public speaking skills when I joined a specific organization.
it's true. You're right.
So I came from a very technical world. I came from a technical, to me, if I go looking for a technician and in this specific thing that has to write Boolean algebra every day, has to live in this stuff, when I'm talking to them, they're staring at my feet. They're not looking me in the eyes. It's just not going to happen. And they're going to mumble, and they're going to use the shortest explanation to get the hell away from me. And they are going to be effective and go.
Right.
And that's what they're about. But when I joined that organization, and I'm already an outgoing guy, so I was a little exception to the rule anyway. And very outgoing, very shake hands, kiss babies already. But the speaking wasn't quite there because, I was born in West Virginia. And, sometimes it sneaks back up on me. I won't deny it. And so, I've spent 40 some years of my life trying to get rid of that accent. But if you say biscuits and gravy to me, boom, I'm right back.
Ooh, that sounds good, though.
It does. More it does. So once I joined that organization, and there was a lot more just an upgraded level of speech, even though in our case it was a very archaic speech, it did really bring in a whole new round to something. So between that, and let's say you don't necessarily want to join a secret society to improve your public speaking, there is always the Dale Carnegie way to go. So I've done that as well. And the Dale Carnegie stuff is an excellent experience. Wes, have you ever been through any public speaking classes?
I've not. I've always been just fine public speaking because I just kind of don't care. I just have very little interest in what people think about me. But
I care what people think about me, but not enough to stop me from doing whatever the hell I want to do.
Right, exactly. So here's why I think why I really put public speaking on here. More than just being good at public speaking, which is a skill everybody needs, it teaches you how to think on your feet. How often have you heard the story, or even seen it happen yourself, where somebody's giving a speech and they lose their place and they forget what they were going to say, and they just stop. They're like, and they can't reset. They can't pick up where they left off, and they can't just get up and run from there. Now the thing is,
hold on a second.
Okay.
You do that. I got something to look up.
Yeah. So, when you actually get used to public speaking and speaking in front of a crowd or on camera, you actually get used to again thinking on your feet. When you lose your spot, when you lose your bullet point in your multi-bullet point agenda here, you can just pick up where you left off, where you think your brain should naturally go, and you just go with it. It's second nature. Now, David, for you, it's ultra second nature. You're actually very good at it. Some of us have to think a little bit more than others, but once you get into the habit of doing so, it just flows, and that gives your brain a second to think, oh, that's what I was going to say, and then you can catch up and move on from there.
Well, there's a secret to that, and then I will share the secret is to tread only the top of the water. When you have to,
are you saying follow bullet points and not a specific script? Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
Bullet points?
I'm saying if we're going to talk about, let's say somebody wants to talk to me about the recent advances in nuclear. You like that?
Nuclear. Who are you, George W. Bush?
Anybody catch that? In the nuclear fusion that we've been working on here recently, right? So there's been a lot of stuff. So there's going to have a conversation. Somebody's going to come up to me, and I got to make some presentation about it. I am only going to I'm going to tread the water on it. I'm going to stay at the very top level. I'm not going to allow any of the conversation to go to the deep dive. It's not my area of expertise. My area that I can consider expertise is refer to this place, refer to that place, and then just have a conversation that means absolutely nothing in between this point and that point. So you don't necessarily have to keep a place because there actually is no place. But I wanted to bring up, so we talked about, you just called me George W., but Ronald Reagan, June 12th, 1987, giving a speech in West Berlin in 1987, June 12th. when a balloon popped in the background really loud. He's in the middle of a speech. He just pops his head up and says, "Missed me," and then kept right on going.
That's pretty funny.
And just kept right on going.
That's
So
pretty
there
funny.
is, that comfort that you get knowing that this is what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to allow the conversation to go over here where I can be caught doubling up on myself or doubling back on myself. I'm not going to allow my conversation to go over here because that's literally not in the expertise that I'm in. I'm going to keep the in the box of the
Ooh.
conversation that I want.
Well, I like to think outside the box, David. I like to go far outside the box and say, "Ich bin ein Berliner."
Andy Forged, I'm going to need a knife because I have to cut West. Give me that little spike thing.
There you go.
That Mad Max, or no, it reminded me of Cobra, the old Steven Stallone.
The old Steven Stallone movie.
What the hell's Stallone's first name?
Rambo?
Yeah, what's his first name?
Sylvester? The cat?
Sylvester. I knew it was an S.
I knew it was named after a cat, yes.
Steven Stallone.
Old Steven Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone movie. It's called Cobra. It's like, it might be 1987, 1989, something along those lines. But, I mean, it wasn't the greatest movies then. I'm going to go back and rewatch it, though, because,
Well, now you have to.
Now I have to. I call the guy Steven like 12 times.
Yeah, Steven Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone movie. But it reminds me of a knife that's actually from that movie. So.
Oh, funny. Good to know. So
all right, what's next on our...
Public speaking was number 2. Number 3 is problem solving.
There we go.
Problem solving. Man, I can't tell you. Look, I'm not going to tell you specific names or specific events, but almost daily, I work in some very painfully difficult situations where problem-solving skills could have solved the entire thing hours ago. And I'm just... You really work really hard to hold it together sometimes, working with people who don't have problem-solving skills. So the thing is, I
don't even like talking to people who don't have problem solving.
And that's the thing. If you're trying to get a job or you're trying to promote your business, people can tell by the words you use, by your actions, and the way you answer specific questions, how good you are solving certain problems. Because here's what it tells a potential employer. It tells your potential employer things like, how well are you at understanding basic logic? What's your creativity level? What is your resilience when you run into a problem that you're not quite sure what the answer is? What's your imagination level? Because guess what? Even if you're just crunching numbers on an Excel spreadsheet, you still need these problem-solving skills. Lateral thinking. You need to be able to think in more than just this one very specific vertical. Lateral. There you go. See that? That's problem-solving right there. And determination. If you hit a problem or have a question that you can't answer, do you give up? Or do you take the extra step to find the answer to that question? Problem-solving skills, people. Learn them. That's number 3.
Yes. Yeah, it's tough. Oh, my Lord. So I'll get on the phone with people. It is really painful. Even people internal to the company I work for now, I'll get a hold of people, and as soon as they start talking, I'm like, oh, dear Lord. These are people who have their box and have their stuff, and if it's not lined out for them, they have no ability. Now, me personally, I have hired people, I have fired people. It's just the way of the world. I will not hire anybody who that I cannot trust to make a decision to break one of my rules.
Absolutely. Look, here's a rule that I live by, and I actually tell my team, it's okay that you do this, and it takes some learning because they're not used to this. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission.
Yes.
I hired you because you're great at what you do. Trust your instincts and go with it. If you're wrong, guess what? We can learn from that, and there's nothing that terrible. We can fix it.
Yes, we can make it right if we have to. And even if I disagree with you, which has happened in the past, even if I disagree with what your outcome was and what you did, if you went into it knowing that your actions were going to lead to this and that was intentional, and you did that, you said, if I go, well, why'd you do that? It's not because I'm reprimanding, it's because I want to know why you did it. And if you come to me, the only answer that I don't accept in those scenarios are when I tell somebody to do something specific in a specific way, because I've screwed it up many times trying to do other things, and I find that this works. The only reason that I don't accept is because you told me to do it that way. I wasn't going to listen to you. Anything outside of that is Hey,
Absolutely.
I know you told me to do it this way. I've had success in this and this and this. Great. I'm glad it worked for you. Let's keep an eye on it. Hi there. Let's keep an eye on it. Let's make sure it doesn't come back to us. Did you think about this? Yes, I did. Great. Good job. Thank you so very much. You're more likely going to get a raise out of me for something like that than get in trouble.
Right. Absolutely.
But if you stop dead in your tracks because you can't go any further and you pick up the phone and say, hey, mommy, I'm scared. I need to come home. Then great. Come on
Right.
home, pack your stuff up, get the hell out.
Right. When somebody calls me on my day off, I'm not saying this actually happened, but it may have actually happened. When somebody
It's
calls me
probably
on my day
happened more than
off
once.
to ask me questions because they have no problem-solving ability of their own, and no
Yeah.
critical thinking of their own, and I have to demonstrate how that sort of thinking actually works, and
Yeah.
I just answer their question off the top of my head because
Yeah.
I'm capable of problem-solving off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It's mildly
is-
frustrating. It's mildly frustrating.
It's for those of us, and because we haven't learned to keep our egos in check yet.
That's true. We haven't gotten
For
there yet.
those of us who are blessed with the gift of problem solving, really good problem solving,
Right.
the rest of you idiots out there are murdering us, murdering us.
Oh, it's tough. It is. It's tough.
Oh, see, later I will have to learn how to keep my ego in check and have some emotional intelligence to know not to say what I just said.
That's true. You have very low emotional intelligence. Your EQ is just in the basement, David. So that number 3 was problem solving. Number 4 is one that you said you're glad that I added, which I think everybody should be good at this. Negotiations.
Yes.
Negotiating. Because here's the thing. Everything, whether you like it or not, whether you like to think about it this way or not, is a negotiation. Because guess what? In the end, you and your team, you and your partner at home, your wife, your husband, your whatever, you're all working towards the same ends. However, you all have your own individual preferences and desires. It's all negotiations on how you get to that end goal, and that's it. The thing is, whether you're in business or in the office place, it's all negotiation. You have things that you want done. You have very specific goals you need to meet. Everybody's working towards that same end goal. The trick is negotiating your way into doing it the right way, and hopefully the way that you want to, so that you can actually do what you want to do. Everything's negotiable. Even look, picking out what you want to have for dinner with your spouse. One of the most
dear Lord.
one of the most difficult tasks in human history. It's all negotiation.
Yes. It is. And because I get in these crazy video things on the Book of Faces, and I'll see them going, a video today of a guy making all of his wife's favorite dishes. And he had basically paper written, I don't know, you pick anything, whatever you want. I don't know.
Right.
And he had them, he's frying some of them. He's got a strainer out for another one. And I'm just there going, man, it got me right there. It got me right there.
Every man can relate to that.
If
you're out there, gentlemen, you're not alone. You're not alone.
The problem is we're just as bad.
But here's the difference, though. Here's the difference.
What we'll do is we'll give them. What we'll do. Here's what we do. Here, West. What you don't understand?
What you don't understand, West?
Boy, that joke for us just doesn't ever get old. We will give an answer one time a year. One time a year, we're going to give you an answer so that we can say, well, I picked the last time I picked because nobody else is picking the rest of the year. The last time we picked is that one time. It's like, I wanted, seeing somebody was watching, I might as well throw it out there. I want Bear Creek. I want to go there at 9:00. I want to get some 50-cent wings, dip them in some of that delicious hot sauce. Boom.
Sure.
That's what I want. Now, I've made that decision one time. I can ask my wife for the rest of the year, what does she want to eat? And she'll be like, I don't know, whatever you want. I don't know, whatever you want. Anything. I don't want to eat out. Well, you want me to make this? No, whatever you want. So we only do it once. We are absolutely no better.
Well,
David,
they are. The difference
we're just a little more shady about it.
The difference is when a man says he doesn't care, he genuinely doesn't care. I don't care. You could put corn dogs in front of me, cooked in the microwave, or you could cook me a gourmet meal. I don't care. I will enjoy them both in different ways.
Tell me more about these corn dogs.
Exactly. That's my point. However, the spouses male or female or otherwise, whatever you decide, when they say they don't care, you can put out 100 different suggestions. Like, no, not that.
It's
However,
decision
you put any choice
paralysis.
in front of a man who says he doesn't care, and he's like, all right,
Yeah.
that's it. That's the answer.
Okay, so I'm the exception to that rule too. There
Ooh,
are some times when people go
You
and
do.
they
You don't do
say,
that. You say you don't care, and then you
yes.
specifically want something.
I'm like, I don't care what you want. I don't care. And then they'll pick something that they absolutely freaking know that I'm not going to like. Subway. Oh my God. I hate Subway so bad. Subway. Their sandwiches are delicious. When I have to eat there, I have a delicious sandwich. My problem is I'm spending $65 on 4 freaking sandwiches that I could have made at home for $1.95 and a pack of freaking bologna and a loaf of bread. Oh my Lord. It's killing me.
You're on our list, Subway. You're on the list.
You're on my list. I'm watching you. And they're cheap. They're trying to be efficient, and they'll give you 1 napkin per sub and no more.
No more. My only problem with Subway is the locations smell terrible. I like the food,
Always.
but the locations
always smell bad.
They smell like an actual Subway, which is a problem for me.
So I've been out of New York multiple times, right? I mean, I spent a lot of time in Boston. I spent a lot of time in New York City. I still have yet to be on a subway train.
I've been on a few subways.
I've
been around.
I'm just like, it's so easy to Uber.
Fair point. Fair point.
Uber.
All right. So negotiations was number 4.
So yeah, negotiations are. So we have a comment here. Said the worst people that know what they don't want but can't contribute in business and dinner. Okay. All right.
You're totally right, Michael.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Like, I know I don't want this, but that's it. And sometimes I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I am absolutely guilty of that. I don't know what I want, but I can guarantee you I don't want Greek food tonight. Now, that's actually not true. I'll probably have a Greek gyro anytime.
It's true.
But
it's true.
There are some times when I can't say pizza either, because I mean, it's very rare that I'm going to turn down a pizza.
Well,
I mean, you don't get this
don't
fat by
pizza.
accident.
Even bad pizza is good pizza.
Yes, yes, indeed. But yeah, okay. So next up is I'm going to read this one.
Huh? Okay.
All right.
This is for you, David.
Keeping your ego in check.
Which is ultra important. So important.
I feel attacked.
Look, I didn't add it specifically for you, but I might have pictured you and giggled a little bit when I wrote it. So the problem is most
bullcrap.
David, we're
be
trying
an
to
egomaniac and run for it.
Well, look, there are lots of articles on there about how most CEOs actually have psychopathic tendencies.
Yes, sir.
But the thing is,
yes,
look,
sir, we do.
The majority of successful people, whether this is true or not, and it's probably not in most cases, I think a lot of this is ego stroking as well. A lot of them call themselves lifelong learners, right? Like Bill Gates is always talking about all these books he reads per year. Yeah, it's easy to read books when you have nothing else to do with your day because you're a multi-billionaire. That's a little rant off to on its own. But the thing is,
I'm a lifelong learner.
Most people who think they know everything, who think they have nothing else to learn, who think, oh, all the peons under them don't know anything. Guess what? They're not going to be the really successful people. Guess what? The most successful people are going to surround themselves with people who genuinely know more than they do. David, you mentioned how when
I've been over this many times.
It's not your job as a boss to know how all these little things that your team does. You don't know how they work. You need to have the people in place to know how they work. You're not letting your ego get in the way of them doing their jobs. Or you're not threatened when you bring somebody else on who knows how to do something better than you.
Absolutely. And I've said this many times, even with you. You've actually made comments like, well, they don't even know what we do. I'm like, well, wait a minute now.
You're right. It's a dangerous line to tread.
It's
tough. A dangerous line to tread.
It's tough.
However, there are certain. I'm in a situation right now where I am picking up a lot of slack at the day job from one of my team members. Actually, a team member from a joining team who's not even technically on my team, but these people are reporting to me right now for a number of different reasons. But there are some gaps
Did somebody try to make your teams more efficient?
So much more efficient at a quarter of the size we used to be. I won't go off on that rant. But
I would say you need to be doing 75% less work then.
But there are some gaps in efficiency, we'll say, and so I'm filling in. And because I actually know how to do everyone's job, Not better than them, but I know how to do the jobs. I
Yeah.
can fill in the gaps of these efficiencies, we'll say.
I can put up drywall too, but you don't want me to do it if you want your house to be presentable.
David, you have come and done some amazing work in my house. I have no complaints.
Yeah, yes, but if you were getting charged by the hour, it would have been 5 times more than what somebody
true.
else would have done.
Fair
yes,
point.
I can do this work. Yes, I can do it in a quality manner. Oh my God, I shot myself in the foot the other day. So one of my son's friends had a broken screen on the back of his iPhone. Now,
You didn't try
many
and fix it,
times
did
in the
you?
past, oh yes, I did. Many times in the past, I'm a Samsung guy. It's pretty, I'm cool. So clearly I use Samsung. And I've replaced glass, takes me 25, 30 minutes, done, out. Order the part from Amazon, bring it in. I got my heat gun, boom. I get the thing off, put the new one on, done.
Okay.
No. Apple has to make these things so hard to work on. And I'm sitting here watching videos, and I'm reading the things, going, hey, you don't have to worry about the heat. You're not going to overdo this. Well, unfortunately for them, or for me in this case, I actually have an actual real heat gun, not a hairdryer. So I kind of fritzed his screen. So I went from I bought the replacement kit for him anyway. So I was giving him $20. I gave him $20 screen thing, and my time to do it. Turned into I had to go buy a $400 phone to replace his phone for him.
Was that efficient or effective,
he's off
David?
In Texas.
Was that efficient or effective?
Neither. It was neither. It was neither efficient or effective. It was very effective in preventing me from ever volunteering my services to repair somebody's phone again.
You know what? Here's your mistake. You broke your own rule.
$400.
I'll tell you how you broke your own rule. I'll tell you how you broke your own rule. You tried to be efficient by fixing it yourself, rather than being effective and telling them to go to somebody who actually knows what they're doing. You broke your own rule. You broke your own rule.
I do know what I'm doing. That's the problem. Unfortunately, it doesn't. The way that I've got Samsungs. Guys, the glass doesn't fall off of them. The back doesn't fall off my phones.
Never happened to my iPhone ever. I've had iPhones.
Yeah, because it's got 12 pounds of glue on the back of it apparently. And that was what the problem was. And I'm sitting here having to do all these things. It was putting too much heat into the phone. It was just, it was miserable.
Oh, that's hilarious.
When I turned his phone over and I seen it, I'm like, maybe once it cools down, this will go away. The next morning, I was like, keep an eye on it. If it's dead, if I damage your phone, I'll buy you another phone. And I got the word from my son. He goes, it's Fritz. I'm like, oh, mother, father.
So number 5 is keep your ego in check. And if your ego tells you, oh, I can fix this iPhone that I'm completely unqualified to try and fix, guess what? Keep your ego in check and tell them to go to the iPhone store. You don't have to be
qualified. It's like those companies that ask for a freaking degree when there's absolutely... So there's a thing right now.
David's still working on number 5.
Yeah. I will be working on number 5 for the rest of my life, just so we're aware of that. That is something that I will never actually, because, I pay for my mistakes and I'll learn from it. Next time, if it comes up, I'll just tell them to go somewhere else. But if it gets into a pickle and somebody's like, no, I really need you to do this. I'm like, all right, here's what the deal is. It'll take me a half a day. It'll take me 4 hours to do this because you cannot put too much heat on these things or they will break.
It's going to take me half a day and $400, but I will replace this screen.
Yes. Yeah. For something that would, and my bill, let's say if you calculated me down to a billable rate, would probably be somewhere to the tune of $350 an hour or something along those lines. So, $350 an hour plus 4 hours. It's effective for me to do that.
Yeah, your son's friend really came out ahead on that one.
So I wasted my time and had to buy him a phone.
That's pretty funny. That's a good story.
So all of us will work on this thing. So there are some people who have to work on public speaking for the rest of their lives. There are some people who are going to really struggle in the world of problem solving. You know what? If that's not your strong point and you may be awesome at writing, perhaps that's where you need to be.
Right.
But you're always going to be working on it. I wouldn't say get a job where problem solving is required because you're not going to do your best work there.
Right.
Get a job where writing is required because that's where you're going to do your best work. For me, keeping that ego in check is going to be one of those things that I have the rest of my life to improve and work on.
So and
because I'm awesome like that, I know that.
And
because I got high emotional intelligence.
Mine is negotiation. So I hate haggling. I hate negotiations. If I'm going to do something, I'm just going to go do it, and damn the consequences. Like I said, I am a full full believer in ask for forgiveness, not for permission. So
Yeah.
I actually have to work on negotiations, but that's why I added to the list because I know that's one of my weak points. Number six, and the final point we're going to make today is build emotional intelligence. And the thing is look, I equate this. So I added some bullet points on here. I'm going to go through them real quick.
Yeah.
Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. I think social skills is super important, but really the reason I added this is because one I didn't add there, which is learning to read the room. How often have you been on a call or been in a conversation with somebody who can't read the room and they're just blabbing on about something and you're just cringing inside like, just shut up,
Yes.
shut up.
Yes.
And they won't, and they can't understand the room. They just can't do it.
Yeah, I've sat through meetings where the person who set the meeting was adjacent to the awareness. I like that comment from Michael there.
Yeah.
They're the person who called for the meeting because they only heard a part of a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know the full context, or they didn't want to understand. It is, and I've said this, it's one of the most dangerous things that's out there. And I believe you call it echo chamber.
Oh, look, everybody has an echo
Confirmation
chamber.
bias.
We should do an entire show on the echo chamber.
We should do a show
bias.
on the echo chamber and confirmation bias, because it is one of the absolute most dangerous things out there in your personal life and in your business life, that you will only take in. You give 100% weight to items, whether they be true or false, backed up by data, statistics. It's sad that I'm risking the word science. It's sad that that's what our society has come to. But you will give 100% weight to those things that only confirm your original thought, or your belief, or what it is that you want. Anything that contradicts it, even in the slightest, you weight it at 0%. It is and I have long said that we are a thumbs up, thumbs down society.
Mm-hmm.
The use of the 5-star method is completely superfluous because nobody wants to get something that has 2.5 stars.
Well, right. And that system is so easily hacked. But look, the echo chamber and only talking to people who kind of are saying the same thing that you are, people who are agreeing with everything you say, that I promise you is the reason why the dry mill is closing. As we mentioned in the opening part of the show, the downtown's first sober bar is closing.
This is downtown.
We talked about this because they're hitting the wrong audience. Their marketing tactics were completely wrong. They weren't. They were. I promise you, the two guys who found this were talking to each other, and they're talking each other up and saying, "This is the way to do it. This is going to succeed. Why is it going to succeed?
This will be good.
Because you like it and I like it. Therefore, everyone will like it."
They built themselves as their avatar. They built themselves as their marketing. Their own. They took themselves, their stats, and applied that to their. And I'm giving them a lot of credit for even thinking about marketing avatar, or who we're going after demographic wise.
So in marketing, there's something that not a lot of people talk about, and I talk about it probably more than I should because I think it's super relevant most of the time, which is the marketer's blind spot. And what that is most marketers are super guilty of this. People in any sort of executive position, it's almost their job to fall into this problem. But the marketer's blind spot is, because you think something is super important, you automatically assume it's super important to everyone. So you're not marketing to everyone. You're marketing to yourself and people who agree with you. You're most likely not marketing to your audience or your desired audience. Now, again, I say executives fall into this it's almost their job, because it is their job to be a cheerleader for their company. I understand that. However, it's also the marketing team's job to say, you know what? We need to rethink this strategy because it's not hitting our avatar. It's not hitting our target audience.
It's not hitting you. It's not hitting your target audience.
I promise you that's what happens.
We can't pull it up. We can't pull it up tonight. It's 8:20. But we did a show about men's hair loss, I think. It was a YouTube channel that the guy's original market, or his original audience, wasn't the hair loss world. It was other things. And then it came out to those were the videos that just blew up on it.
Right. So as a YouTube channel where most of his videos where he started out, we're talking about like men's advice, like oh,
Yeah.
what clothes to wear, what shirt to wear with those pants, how to just do manly,
I just
guy
call
stuff.
West. I'm like, hey West, I'm wearing wingtips today. Do I go brown pants or black? What's up here, bro?
Right. Like it was men's style, stuff like that. Stuff that
Yeah.
there's 100 million other channels out there for. However, he did a couple videos on minoxidil treatments. And those videos, so he went from a couple hundred views to immediately up into the multiple thousands of views with that single video. And you actually saw his learning process where he did one of those videos and then he'd go back to his normal cadence for a few videos and it leveled out real low. And then he went back up and did that again. Did it again, and he started doing more and more of those videos. He learned that was the process.
That was the market that he was targeting.
So
let's bring back up your phone there.
Yep. So when we talk about emotional intelligence, though, we're not just talking about touchy feely stuff. We're talking about understanding. We're talking about reading the room. We're talking about understanding.
Not always just reading the room.
Well, it's not. It's not just that. It's understanding who you're speaking to, how to speak to them. Right.
Yes. And one of the major
marketing, it goes into reading the room. It goes into interpersonal relationships.
Yeah. One of the big things on this as well, and I want to make sure it doesn't get overlooked and doesn't get skipped, is looking objectively at yourself in your emotional intelligence spectrum there, looking objectively at yourself.
Absolutely. Well, and that's part of it. Understanding yourself too, being able to be introspective enough to understand, I should stop talking now. I'm kind of annoying.
That's a drinking word right there. Introspective.
Introspective.
That's good phraseology.
Hey, phraseology. I'm going to hold that above your head for the rest of your life.
For those of you guys who don't know, I flat called out West months and months and months ago about the word phraseology. I did the snapping of fingers. He's an expert in nameology. Now, for those of you fans out there of the Boondock Saints, you know what that is. You know where it came from. Expert in nameology. So, and then he was like, no, phraseology is a word. I'm like, there's no way, man. No way. So, of course, I have
online, you had to look it up.
I keep a screen going over here with things as we're doing, and I look things up so that I can appear that I have some clue of what the hell I'm doing. I looked it up, and turns out phraseology was a word. So that is something that I will never live down and never let myself live down, because I still to this day, man, that is one of the most made up sounding words I have ever heard.
You know what? I should buy phraseology.com. And on the URL, it was like, David was wrong. And it's like a gif of me doing this.
So I actually went and bought, I actually own Crazyology.
That's pretty funny. That's
I actually own Crazyology, because we were going to talk about doing a thing with, what's the guy from, you had him on while I was out, a California guy, Disney Imagineer.
Yes. So Steve from, he's a Disney Imagineer who, I keep wanting to say
Godric's Hollow, but it's something else. Grimwood.
Well, I wasn't going to give too much information away. Yeah, he does Grimwood Hollow. So his big sort of claim to public fame, rather, is he does Grimwood Hollow, which is one of the, when they were still doing it, they kind of cooled off since the whole COVID thing.
I think they're back, though.
But they're going to be back next year. Is one of the biggest, sort of yard haunts, the big, where the people do the big, like, Halloween yard haunt where they do the ultra decorations and stuff. And since he's a Disney Imagineer, he would go all out. Like, his stuff is like next level. Grimwood Hollow. Actually, look him up on YouTube. His channel's really good.
You should. Hey, Steve's an awesome guy.
I'm not sure where you're going with this, though.
What were we talking about? Now I'm thinking about
Crazyology.
Crazyology. We were talking about putting a show together with the three of us doing Crazyology.
Yeah, that guy has some cool stories. He has some great insider stories.
So West loves to do this to me. He loves to keep a lot of stuff so he can get the reaction from me live on the air. And this guy worked on Phantasm, and Phantasm was the movie when I was young that just had me scared.
Shirtless.
Yeah, shirtless. It had me scared shirtless. And I mean, so it was amazing. And I was like, oh yeah, that little orb. And he's like, oh, you mean this? And he's
like,
pulls it
this
up.
orb?
He's just got it
the one that was in the
there.
movie right here?
I'm like, oh my Lord. There's just some of the coolest stuff that he worked on, and some of the movies that he'd been in, and some of the stuff he's done was just freaking amazing. So, hopefully hopefully we can do something. I
We'll
don't
have him
know
back
that it
on
needs
soon.
to be, we haven't, well, you got to talk to him. I'm kind of sad that I was busy doing
Well,
work stuff.
when you're too good for us, we we need to
Too,
make do. It's fine.
I was I was busy. It was work. So yeah, that's it. So we've went through it. We've building your emotional intelligence, keeping your ego in check, which I
It's
do an
important for
amazing
all of
job
us.
of. Negotiating, which I will dicker about anything, and wheel and deal. There are certain things that I look at from an opportunity cost that I don't. So I talked about it just the other day. I was up at the Walmart and I bought an item that was supposed to be $17.50 or something along those lines, $17.84. I don't know, some weird number. And it rang up $50. And I decided it wasn't worth my blood pressure, time, or patience to try to get $33 or $32.
Right.
It just was immediate going,
Right.
I'm not going to argue.
Is it
I'm
worth
out
your
of
time
here.
and your sanity?
It
Probably
is,
not.
yes, it's not during Christmas time and everything that's going on. The people that's behind the counter, if they had to go do stuff, they're going to panic. You know what? It's just not worth it. I've donated $30-some to Sam Walton's heirs. So fine, off we go. And on we go. So even when it doesn't seem like I'm negotiating, I'm still negotiating. I negotiate
Everything's negotiation.
everything.
Even internally, it's all negotiation.
Yes. Is it worth it? This, that. So I negotiated. I spent $37. I kept some of my peace and sanity. Off we went. Simple as that. Let's see. Problem solving. We went over problem solving and how if you come across a person who is maybe just seems stressed out by you, it could be a person who has extremely good problem solving skills. And, it might not hurt to have a good open conversation with this person, and let them know where you are, who you are. Because the more they understand, the more it's going to be in their head how to work the equation with you in it.
Fair enough.
And trust me, it's going to benefit you a long way. So use your negotiating skills with those people that have high problem solving skills, and your life is going to be much, much better.
Fair enough.
Public speaking, Wes and I, we just absolutely despise public speaking. We don't like talking in front of a crowd. We don't like to think anybody. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, that's 100% wrong. We neither one of us care.
Yeah, part of it is just not caring what people think. Nobody's judging you.
Yeah.
You're probably if you even try, you're already a better public speaker than most people out there. So
you are, and they are. Most of the people that you're like, oh my God, they're judging me. They're sitting back going, oh my God, I could never do that.
Right. That's exactly it.
That's what they're doing.
That's exactly.
And then you're going to have a couple people out there, a couple politicians like you and I know, and a couple people that are going to be truly good public speakers in most cases, and they're not judging you. They're listening to what you say. They're not judging you because you're up there talking.
Right.
The asshole is judging you.
And you don't care. You shouldn't care what they think anyway.
If that's the person you're trying to market yourself towards, you're in the wrong line of business. Come back to us. We'll give you a whole new set of avatars.
True.
And I guarantee you, asshole's not going to be in that list.
Exactly.
That's just all there is to it. And the first one we touched on, which we didn't really spend a lot of time on, is writing. And it doesn't seem like, Wes, do you do a lot of writing?
I do personal writing. I don't. It's not. I wouldn't call it a journal.
How many emails do you send a day?
Oh,
there we go.
Yeah, a lot of writing.
There we
I thought
go.
you meant like writing to like write.
That's exactly what people think. They equate writing to getting out the
You're
old
right. You're
quill
actually
and
totally
ink
right.
bottle and. Once was a time I walked and journeyed along the path of life.
I do use
write all the time.
A real pen and actually do writing. But people, you do writing all the time. Email, messages in Teams or whatever, text messaging. Learning how to write, will head and shoulders improve your standing among your peers if you can just learn how to write and get your point across.
So I see you've got quite a number of books back there. Now, I don't have a degree, but I have went to college courses because I'm like, hey, I want to learn. I want to be better at this. I want to do better at that. And I have went and done these things. And I don't always keep the books. Most of them I pitch because they're absolute
Most of them are
garbage.
terrible. Yeah.
Most of them are really, really bad. They know their audience. They are preaching
it.
they are preaching to
They're
academia.
preaching to their echo chamber.
Yes, they are preaching to academia when they're writing these books. But a
Mhm.
few of them, I've got a couple of psychology books I absolutely loved.
Mhm.
And I got a couple of writing books, and I've got probably I took this class in 2006 maybe,
Mhm.
was business accounting.
Yeah.
So I think those are the books of the three main classes that I decided to keep. All the other stuff was absolute baloney. It's just so bad. But so
Yeah.
I kept like I think it's a total of like 2 books from the writing, 1 book from the psychology, and 1 book. So 4 books total.
Mhm.
So 4 books total from those 3 classes that have stayed on my shelf. That they are the ones that I go, all right, if I need a refresher, or I want to feel that I need to get some. These books actually had usable data that applies to the real world,
Mhm.
not the academia echo chamber.
Right. Totally.
So and writing got 2 of those books.
Yeah. Look, it's totally right. And reading will increase your writing ability. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
so those are the 6 things you need to learn to really succeed. And honestly, you master these 6 things, you, no matter what
Yes.
field you're in, you will be at the top of your game, guaranteed.
It doesn't
100%.
matter if you don't want to be. It doesn't matter whether it's top of a field or just top of your life. These
Well,
are
right.
these are 6 things that if I were to put together a winding staircase
Mhm.
of I don't know, you know, I think Michael put down here logic earlier. I'm gonna file that under problem solving. I think I'd follow that maybe under problem solving.
Yeah.
But logic is a good one. So you get, what is it? Grammar, logic, rhetoric. For those of you guys who know the winding staircase, and
it's a different
the
conversation.
liberal
Yeah.
arts and sciences, right? These right here. I mean, so there's supposed to be 7. So let's go ahead and throw logic in there, just only because it gives us 7.
Sure.
So we throw logic in here, and we have ourselves an amazing winding staircase.
You're totally right.
So I think you deal with these, and if you say, hey, this is too much, pick one.
Yeah, pick one and just work on it. And just really master that one thing. And then guess what? Pick one more after that. And it might take you years.
If you let's say that I would love to say, hey, let's pick out which one of these is the easiest stepping stone, but it really depends on who you are. Because for me, the easiest stepping stone would probably be problem solving for me.
Sure.
It literally is what I'm built to do. You got a problem, I'll solve it. Check out this hook while my DJ revolves it. That's just all there is to it. You come at me with a problem, I'm going to find a solution for you. You may not like it, but it's going to be a solution.
It'll be a solution.
Whatever this problem is, it will be gone.
Exactly.
Yes. Right there, Mike says, pick your weakness. Right. So I will disagree with Michael a little bit on this. So I don't want you to pick your weakness. I want you to pick your strength.
Okay.
You should always work on your weaknesses, but you don't want to, and this really goes back, and this is not really picking on Michael. This picks on those middle managers who don't really know how to manage, who are like, well, your weakness is contract negotiations, so we're going to put you over in contracts for the next 2 years and let you flounder and fail and then fire you. While you had excellent marks at accounting, we're going to keep you away from the accounting because we want to bolster your weaknesses. He says he's fine with it. Okay. But I've seen that. I've seen that where people go, hey, I want to really shore up their weaknesses and they won't have any problems. What you're doing is you're crushing that person's soul and will to live by putting them in an environment that they are not adapted for. Put them in an environment where they'll strive and then let them build that weakness, but don't put them in a weakness. So you want to set somebody up for success. You don't want to set them up for failure.
Well, I think what you're describing here is something Michael also said, which is management, and that is that guy's weakness. I think what the problem a lot of us have experienced is a lot of us are feeling jaded because a lot of middle managers are stuck in that position because they don't understand EQ, that emotional intelligence. That
emotional intelligence
listed on the list.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot here. So if you if you if you master all 6 of these skills, you'll get a decoder ring. They'll give you the secret to all of life. 43. So
That may not be true, but you will master, I promise you, anything that you set your mind to. If you can master those 6 things, you will master anything you set your mind to.
So Wes, we got to say it. We have to say it. When did you start this?
Well, when was the best time to plant a tree?
30 years ago.
When was the second best time to plant a tree, David?
Right now.
Exactly. There's never been a better time to start what you're trying to do than right now. And the reason is because today is better than tomorrow, and today is going to be way better than the day after that. There's never going to be a better time in your entire life to start what you want to do than right now.
Management is that guy's weakness. I love it. Management is that guy's weakness. I love it. Here's one of the problems from a guy who's in a we'll call it a decent sized company. I see many managers. So the guy I work for right now, this is just in case he ever watches this, the guy I work for right now, there's not a lot of people you come across in your life and you're like, hey, I like working for that guy. All right. The guy I worked for in the past,
it's
I like
rare
working
to
for
be
that
able
guy.
to say that. Yeah.
And now I've got number
Sometimes.
2.
Yeah.
I've got number 2. I found a guy now that I actually really enjoy working for.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could go somewhere else and take him with me, I would.
Sure.
And I would try to install him as my boss. I want that guy is a really good guy to work for.
Right.
But these six things here, pick one, start it today. So literally earlier today, I was like, you want to make $1 million. Well, you got to start at $1.
That's it.
And well, I want to be less, fat and obnoxious. Well, the obnoxious part I can't work on too much, but the fat part I can. And I can't lose 100 pounds until I lose the first one. So that's
the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
With a single step. All right, do that again, but you got to say it in like a spooky, eerie voice.
I thought you were going to go for an ethnic thing because it is a Far Eastern philosophy phrase. I wasn't going to do that.
Oh, come on now.
I'm not going to get myself in trouble. I'll just say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I can't do that. All right. I don't know.
So I found a guy online, right? So I found this guy online. That sounds very weird. So I found this guy online.
So I was on Tinder and I found this.
So dude. I was on Tinder.
I found this guy,
and I met this guy, right?
I was on Grindr and I found this guy, right? He does this.
I'm not going to go along with
ping
that
pong calls.
Hey, what you do on your own time is your own business. But no, this guy reads signs, posts, and memes and whatnot in exactly what they say, all the mistypes and the grammar issues and all the things. And he has a very excellent voice for doing this, and he does it in a dramatic style. So go on my Facebook and look at those, because I know I post them all the freaking time. Because every time I see one, I sit and watch the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. I wish I had it ready to pull up here, but let's see here. So Mike put a post up there, or a comment. If I stink at something, I shouldn't be doing that. I should be working on it on the side and making money doing what I'm good at. I absolutely cannot argue with that.
Michael, you're a man after our own hearts.
I cannot argue with that.
Good man.
That is it. So I'm going to go so let's say I'm a real estate guy. Actually, no, because literally everybody's a real estate guy now. Everybody. I am a lumberjack. All right. So I'm the third best lumberjack in the world. And I'm going to go out there.
I'm okay. I work all night and I sleep all day. No, nothing.
I hope not. Let's get Funkle's people. Let's get Funkle Sam on here and see what he thinks about your rendition.
But look,
we need to talk to Funkle Sam. We haven't talked to Funkle Sam in forever.
It's true. We got to get him on, but we have been going. We have been going for a while, so we got to hurry up here.
Oh dear Lord, it's 8:40.
Yeah.
No wonder I'm so drunk. Okay, all right.
Hey, so Michael built a table this weekend. That's more actual like construction than I've done in a long time. So let us know how it works out. So anyway, go ahead.
I'm stumped because now I want to see a picture of the table.
He mentioned he's good at food, so I want to know what kind of
yeah,
food
I
he's
mean, I
so
like
good at
food.
now too. So kind of hungry.
Okay, so he's okay. So no, so Michael runs a
Yeah,
little
it was a
restaurant
joke.
you guys might know up here called Bear Creek, and I will tell you, he makes it's he'll correct me on this. It's a bourbon glaze like sauce that
Well,
he makes.
wasn't this the place that you were
Oh,
saying that if you could choose, you would actually go there and get the wings?
yes, yes.
You actually mentioned them earlier in the show.
They go on vacation this time of year, so they're closed until Friday night. So I've got a group of guys at the cigar lounge across the street. So bourbon butter, that's it right there. Oh my lord,
It sounds
make you
amazing.
make you want to slap. My mouth is just watering. Make you want to slap the queen. I'm telling you, it's freaking amazing. I mean, it really is good. But I'm going to the cigar lounge on Friday, and I'm like, what date? What's the date? Because he's coming back the 30th, I believe, is what the post said. The Facebook post. I gotta click this one over here. So yeah, that's Friday. So I'll be able to go over, do my cigars, and then rock over to Bear Creek for some wings and some good eatums and tasty beers.
So what you're trying to say is
So
I need to come up to New York.
I've been telling you for months or over a year and a half to get your ass up here in New York.
So
Come
I can
on,
go to Bear
man.
Creek
What
and
are
have
you
some of
doing
these
this
wings, is what you're
weekend?
trying to tell me.
What are you doing this weekend?
It's New Year's weekend. I'm spending
That's
time with
even
my
a
family.
better reason.
With my
Bring 'em
current
with
family,
you.
I'm spending time with them.
Bring them with you. They'll have a blast. So before I go, I do want to let you know that we may need to move the January 11th cast to January 12th. That's a Thursday.
We can do that.
If that happens, we will be attempting to do it live, side by side, on the stage of the Opera House, Columbus, Ohio.
Nice.
So that would be the goal. I'm looking at some things. I got to fly into Pittsburgh and do some stuff over there. But then Pittsburgh's a lot closer to you than I am. So it might be an easy little skip over there. But we'll get the plans and get it done. But we'll keep you all posted on that in the upcoming future. In the meantime, we're going to assign you guys homework. Work on these 6 things. Pick and don't take them all at one time. Take your hurdles one at a time.
Right.
Pick one and go for it. These 6 things. These are the words you need. And if you guys need them recapitulated to you, just send us an email. We'll get back to or send
We will
us
fully
a message.
recapitulate.
Yeah. I love to slide that word in anywhere I can.
It's
People are like, what the hell did he just say to me?
it's amazing phraseology you have there, David.
It's great.
But in the meantime, I've been Wes. This guy's been David.
I've been Dave.
We've been the Underdog Journey, and you have been fully capitulated.
funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods.